Hi, how you doing there, folks? I want to comment on the MTA proposed fare increases, service cuts. Right here is the story in the paper. It's right here.
您的余额所剩不多，请到服务台续费。谢谢合作。
Right here it is, folks. They're talking about eliminating 21 bus routes. One of them is the M8, which runs in Manhattan, connects the far east side to the far west side, and that's a very busy route, and they're cutting it. Another one is the M6, which is also a very busy route. Goes all the way down 6th Avenue, all the way to South Ferry. They're talking about cutting that. And a lot of these routes that they're cutting, people are going to have no choice but to ride the subway, which is already overcrowded. It's going to become more overcrowded, and you lose, in a lot of cases, if you cannot afford a car, you lose the opportunity to ride on the surface and see scenery, which is totally unacceptable and not fair. Number one. Number two. What I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about the, I'm going to talk about the fare increases. Okay, 2000. The fares have already gone up 3 times since 2002. In 2002, it was possible to buy a 30-day unlimited use Metro card for only $67 a week. Now it is $82 a month. Now between 2002 and 2008, that's a 30% increase in inflation. Because of that, and in fact, the people that are poor, they have to depend on these buses and subways, basically cannot afford that. That's all the money I would have had saved, my friends. And now they're talking about raising it to 100, 125. Holy cow! How are people going to be able to live? And this is what's going on right now. Okay? They're talking about eliminating 21 bus routes. They're talking about eliminating overnight bus service on 25 routes. Here's the story right here. Here's the story right here in the paper. Well, it can be seen. It's too blurry to be seen from the webcam to there, but this is totally unacceptable, especially at night when they're doing their work on the tracks and everything. It's actually more dependable to take the bus, because you take the subway, you know, there's all kinds of problems, like especially when stations being skipped, certain lines only operating in one direction. Okay, they're talking about eliminating the W train. That's going to make having the queue go all the way to Astoria Greens. What that is going to end up resulting in. That's going to end up resulting the Q train, the R train are going to become even more overcrowded than they already are. We're talking about eliminating the V train, the B, the D train, which is already overcrowded. It's going to become more overcrowded than it already is. It's already crowded. We talked about having trains not come less frequent during the midday hours. We're talking about 30 days, 30, only 30 minutes apart. And at night, which means if you have to make a transfer And then when they do their work in the tracks, it could possibly take 2 to 3 could possibly take 3.5 hours just to go a lousy 15 miles. This is totally unacceptable. Now, there is ways how this can be avoided. But the only way that could be avoided is the one of them is to put tolls on the East River bridges, which the mayor is for. Governor Patterson said he'd support it. The problem is getting the suburban state assemblymen and state senators to approve it. The one that refused to allow congestion pricing to even come to a vote was Assemblyman Sheldon Silver. He chose cold water on everything that's good for New York. I still voted for him because it's good to have the Speaker of the Assembly right from the city that you're living in, but this guy chose cold water on everything. Now the only way that I could actually see this going through, there's going to have to be at least $30,000 worth of pork for every state assembly and state senate district that there is in order to get this thing approved. Like Duff Hyken, he's also one of the state assemblymen that were against congestion pricing. So how you get him to vote yes? You put $30,000 worth of pork for his district, which includes Borough Park, Flatbush. $30,000. $15,000 would go towards funding for the Borough Park Hatzola. Another $15,000 in funding for the Borough Park Shamwood. And then there's no way he'd be able to vote no for that because there's all something in there. Because a lot of state assemblymen, state senators, especially up from Buffalo, before they're going to vote something that's going to help the city of New York, they're thinking, what's in it for me? What's in it for my district? So there should be something in there, and that money would come from the money from the tolls. Putting tolls on East River bridges would go to fund that. Same thing with the city council. Now they voted for congestion pricing. This, I would think they would vote for, but there's going to be a lot of opposition. So the way how you avoid that is $15,000 worth of pork for each city council district in New York, in order to get the people that would vote no to vote yes, that would go for some of the best causes in each one of those districts, and that would come from that funding would come from the tolls from the East River bridges to make it $8 to go in and out of Manhattan each way. $8. The hours should be from 6 a.m. to 12 midnight. Now, originally, this was only supposed to be done during the midday hours and rush hours. It should be done all the way till midnight because, if you're familiar with 14th Street between 6th Avenue and 3rd Avenue, and 3rd Avenue between 14th Street and Astor Place, and Bowery between Astor Place and Delancey, that area after 10 o'clock at night on Friday nights and Saturday nights becomes so crowded that traffic hardly moves. Tonight was one of the examples that I just experienced not too long ago. I just experienced a bus ride that took 40 minutes coming from Grand Street going all the way to 45th Street and 3rd Avenue along the M103. The reason why the ride took so long was because it took 30 minutes just to get through all the traffic between Delancey Street and Astor Place, which the yuppies flood. Put tolls on the East River bridges. Another one is raise the gas tax. The gas taxes statewide should be raised 3 cents, and whatever district, whatever metropolitan area the money's raised, it will go towards the transit systems there. Another idea is raise the cigarette tax 30%, and also put a 60-cent tax increase on rolled up tobacco, and all that money dedicated to